Thank you for checking out this little teaser of the history of the papacy and church. Here's a little taste of what's coming up soon on the History of the Papacy podcast. Now, if you like what you hear, I'd love it if you'd leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. If you want to support the podcast even more, consider becoming a Patreon on patreon.com/history of the papacy. There are many levels and benefits for you, and you help keep the history of the papacy going. You can learn more about all of this at historyofthepapacypodcast.com. With that, here's another piece of the mosaic of the popes of Rome and Christian church, and I will definitely be talking to you more soon. Somebody who was probably meant to be a placeholder.
Yeah, he went in there and really cleaned up and organized, and to use a cliche, he brought the English church into the 8th century. he made it much more in line with the way Christianity was being practiced and organized in the rest of the Roman world, or Roman world, if you will, the Roman Catholic world, we'll say.
Now, Theodore also made some changes as a teacher and a scholar. He changed that whole mindset of the English church, or tried to reform it. What did he do in those areas?
He set up a school in Canterbury to educate English clergy. As we mentioned earlier, one of the problems, this is an ongoing problem throughout the history of the church, is that you have priests that don't know what the heck they're doing. They can't say the Latin Mass. They're running around having concubines, and there's all kinds of problems with clergy. So Theodore is trying to correct that. According to Bede, Theodore and his friend Hadrian, quote, attracted a large number of students into whose mind they poured the waters of wholesome knowledge day by day. In addition to instructing them in the Holy Scriptures, they also taught their pupils poetry, astronomy, and the calculation of the church calendar, which we talked about earlier. It's very complicated. And this school, so the school that Theodore and Hadrian created was not just to teaching Bible and theology, but they taught Latin learning, Latin literature, astronomy, all kinds of stuff. It was almost like a university long before you had universities.